I think this is cool. This is handmade. I don't know who made it or anything else like that, but I think this is neat. Wow, look at this coming down. This is what you guys helped me pay for, so that I can avoid this. This is what it was like. Well, it was actually much worse than this my first day in Alabama, but this is why I don't like rain in Alabama. So I think I'm more than 5 to 7 miles in on the trail, and I come across my first campsite. This is cute. You could tell that they just used what was around it to make a campsite. And so this is the first flat spot that I've seen. Part of me wants to just call it a day, but it's too early in the day. So I'm just gonna take a nice long break and enjoy the scenery and kind of look around, see if I can find me some water. Look at this. Look at how steep this is. This is what it looks like. This is how steep it is. Wow. I mean, if you could only see it from my point of view. I mean, that is some serious. I mean, we're not even talking about getting high, super high. These are just low-lying mountains, the beginnings. Man. Well, I'm about to do my descent into Porter's Gap, and I will be able to get a shower and resupply tomorrow. So I'm looking forward to it. My battery is almost dead, but you know, this is definitely, I had to cross this twice. Once over there and then once over here. Beautiful. Look at this. I'm at the top of a mountain. I'm probably an hour outside of Porter's Gap, but in the event that you get into a pinch, you need to cowboy camp. You need to be able to get out of the rain. Look at this. You know, just natural structures. I haven't checked out the rest of this, but you know, I saw this and I'm like, wow. You know, this is a great place to be able to camp if I knew it was gonna rain. It may not be the greatest place because, I mean, look at that slope. It rains, it's gonna go right in there. But, you know, there are, I guess it's not as good of a camp spot as I thought, but unless it's dry. But you can also see there's a campfire area here too. So keep you warm and kind of out of the coolness and the elements. So this is interesting. So this is a private road, but this is the Piedmont Trail. And this is after you cross a river. It says that only hikers and bikers may pass through. So this is a private road. I'm curious to see how this one works out. I'll share it with you guys as I go along. Wow, look at this. I mean, it's nice, slow moving. You see any trail? There's a trail, and you just kind of follow it. Yeah, look at this. This is something else. Okay, there is the trail. That is the steepness. This is the top of the mountain. Oh, my sneeze. Okay, so this seems to be a pretty treacherous area. I mean, compared to the rest of it, but it seems a little bit fun too. So, wish me luck. See there? That's what I just came off of. Finally came up the backside. Man, look at this. Just, I mean, it's windy as hell because the elevation, probably at about 2,000 to 3,000 feet. But man, look at this. And this is the trail. I am king of the hill. Hi and welcome everyone. This is the Hobo Prepper. I'm Friar Tuck. Okay, so this is the first shelter I have seen on the Piedmont. If you guys remember the shelter that I saw at on the Blackwater trail coming into Alabama. This shelter compared to what the other shelter that I've seen, so much better. So as you can see here, it's got a map. It's got Blue Mountain Shelter. Okay, so stay on trails kind of gives you some advice and some stuff like that. It's actually very well done. Cave Creek. Okay, so Cave Creek Trail intersection is gonna be where I'm probably gonna wanna. Well, no, Adams. Anyways, so just to kind of show you a little bit. Not only that, it has a loft, as you can see. So let's go see what this loft looks like. I'm kind of excited about it because I know that when it gets ready to rain, it's actually a nice loft. So, I mean, if you want to, wow, this is actually not bad at all. Not bad at all. And it's even got pegs. If you look over here, it's got pegs so that you can hang your bag if you want to hang your bag. This is, honestly, I wish that I like the shelter. I wish that there were more of them along the way, but there's really not a lot of shelters on the Pinhoti. So, oh, neat. And they got even little shish kebab things. But anyways, oh, here's a book. Oh, a Bible. Okay. Let's see here. They got a broom and dustpan, or broom, and it looks like a water jug. That way, if you need to fill up lots of water or whatever. I'm not exactly sure what the rest of this is, but I thought I would show you what a shelter looks like on the Pinhoti, because honestly, this is pretty nice. I mean, I could live here. Oh, and one other thing that it has is, if you look right there, I got a picnic table. So anyways, and a fire pit. Oh wait, no, that's the fire pit. There's the picnic table. Okay, so one lesson that the Florida Trail taught me is the St. Mark section, where it says it's dangerous, treacherous, and majestic. And after you get done doing all that hard stuff, you start looking and you go, man, that was really, really hard. But then when you get to the end of that section, you're like, oh, it was totally worth it. Look at this view. And the last couple of days from Porter's Gap, well, not even from, well, yeah, I would say from Porter's Gap to Cheaha State Forest, those have been the hardest days. But now, look at this. The trail is finally getting walkable again, and I'm right back to enjoying it. Sometimes you got to endure the hard part in order to get to the best part. And I know I've got like 1,000-foot descent before I get into Heflin. But man, this is nice. This is a part of the trail that I really, truly enjoy. I mean, I don't mind going uphill. I'm not a big fan of going downhill, though. But look at this. It's beautiful. I mean, at least to me it is. Hope you guys enjoy it, too. Wow. Look at this. This is really nice. I wish I actually needed water, but I barely touched my water today. But it also has been under 70 degrees today, too. But man, look at that. Isn't that beautiful? So instead of doing what I normally do and just keep running, keep going, because I mean, I'm able to do some decent speed on this trail. I'm doing about 2.5 miles an hour. This is a campsite. I'm gonna sit here, I'm gonna have my lunch right next to a creek bed, or crick bed. And then maybe I can refill my water off of this, because this is so pretty. I want to be able to taste it. This looks fresh. This is the trail. There's like 3 trees down. And man, I'm telling you, it was an obstacle course. I wish you guys could see this from the lighting that I get. The iPhone lights it up. But this is just, I really like this part of the trail. You know, again, it seems like every time you reach that part that makes you want to quit, you know, it's like dangerous, treacherous, and majestic. And you just got to make it through the dangerous and the treacherous to see the majestic. I think this is the lesson that every trail has to teach anybody that does it, because at the end of the day, you know, if you just keep going, keep on moving, eventually it'll all be worth it. To me, this is worth it. Considering my name is Friar Tuck, this is where Robin Hood and his merry band of thieves are going to set up their... Wow. I mean, look at this. You could build a small little community out here. You got water. You got land. You've got security. You can even get the high point. Looks like there's even more down there. This is nice. Not too often will I ever backtrack, but it was only maybe 500 feet. I'm right there at CR 24. But check this out. Let me show you. Let me show you what I get to sleep next to. Oh, there's fish in there. Ooh, look at that. Look at how clear that is. There's actual fish in there. So if I want to fish, that's kind of nice. Also, you know, I wanted a designated camp spot. I keep sleeping off grid, but I would like to actually sleep in a designated camp spot for once. So that's probably the reason why I came back. But anyways, guys, wow, it's been a day. I made 15 miles today, and it was pretty easy. There wasn't a lot of stuff that I had to go through. There was some uphill, but it was mostly flat. It was a decent grade, up and down for the most part. You know, it wasn't anything major. But anyways, what a day. All right, so hopefully tomorrow I hit Heflin. I don't know exactly how far it is, but I will find out tomorrow how far Heflin is. So enjoy the video. Wow, look at this. This is really nice. I wish I actually needed water, but I barely touched my water today. But it also has been under 70 degrees today too. But man, look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Listen to how quiet this is. And what's even better, oh look, there is a campsite right here next to this little creek. But this is the first bridge I have seen on the Pinhoti since I've been on it. I saw a lot of them when I was on the Florida Trail. But look at this. Wow. This is paradise. You're surrounded by cars and cities and a hustling and bustling world. And yet, right here in the middle of nowhere, you get peace and tranquility and only the sound of your own thoughts. This is new as far as the way the terrain goes. I kind of like it. It's compact, but there's no confusion. Don't slip on the pine needles though. Isn't it nice when nature gives you natural shelter? Okay, so that's where water collects, but this, let me show you the actual structure. This, as you see, there's a little fire pit there too. is this thousands of years of evolution or erosion. Dude, look at this. And it just goes right in there. It's just cutting its way through all the way down there into a creek bed. So you see large clearings like this. This is like the third one I've seen that's like this, where everything's gone. This is where they used to have power lines. I think what they've done is they put them all underground, because there was one area where you could see all the markings where they were putting it underground. But like large sections just completely clear cut. Now just left open. It's like an open meadow. Started the Heflin Spur Trail, which walks me into Heflin. It's about 3.5 miles. It's about 6:30 at night. I'll probably be there at about 8. Hi and welcome everyone, this is the Hobo Prepper. I am Friar Tuck. Thank you for joining me. Okay, so you're probably asking yourself, what does trails and why is hiking have anything to do with prepping? What is the importance of hiking and doing the videos that I have been doing over the last couple of months? And here is my answer to you. So if you've been paying attention over the last couple of years, our military has been doing urban warfare training. They are planning on, if in the event that we do get invaded, that they're going to have to fight block to block, city to city. But the thing is the Russians counter to that is because they're really good at it. It's something that they've done since World War II. Is they're going to surround a city and they're going to bombard it. And I think that that's going to be counterproductive to the U.S. Battle strategy in the event that we actually do get invaded. Yes, they're going to be planning and hoping that the local farmers, instead of pitchforks, are going to use their guns and be able to defend America against some sort of invasion. But you got to realize that there's going to be a lot of dead farmers, and you're going to have to really band together. And what'll end up happening is people will end up hunkering down in the cities in the event that we do get invaded. Now you might say, well, how are we going to get invaded? Well, look what's going on over in Ukraine. What's going on over in Ukraine is we are instigating a fight with Russia, and now China is starting to get involved. And this is something that is going to eventually lead to a global war between the United States and Russia and China. And is this going to be something that we as a military, as a society, as a country, not only will we be able to withstand, but could we win this? And my thought is I don't really think that we can win this, because if you've paid attention over the last couple of years, the U.S. military has been doing a lot of urban warfare training in the cities, especially in places like San Antonio. You've heard stories come out where people thought actual combat was going on, and there was no combat that was going on. It was just urban warfare training for the U.S. military. Because here's what's going to happen. So in World War I and II, the wars were started in Europe, and the wars were European. This war, the World War III or World War IV, depending upon how you want to label it, it is being instigated by us here in the United States versus Europe, like what we saw in the previous 2 world wars. So the whole battle strategy is going to completely change. And so that means that if we get overran, if NATO gets overran in Europe, if Europe gets overran, well, then that means that we here in the United States are also going to face a full-scale invasion. And that is when things are going to get hairy. And so even though we're practicing urban warfare, we most likely as a military really honed in our skills in Iraq because of all of the insurgents that we had to deal with since 2003. Then, you know, they're hoping to use that training and that skill set that was picked up in that war to be able to apply to the next global conflict, which, again, if we get invaded. Now, you're going to have these rural communities, and they're going to stand up, but you got to realize you're going up against a battalion, and you maybe have 500 people that are going to be that are going to be trying to stop the invasion, because you've got to realize that the rural areas, as they're trying to get from city to city and get into the heartland, it's going to be slow rolling, and it's going to give our military a chance to reinforce. But I think our military is going to hunker down in the cities, and the typical trench warfare and open field warfare that we saw during World War I and World War II, it's not going to be something that we see in this next global conflict. And so that's where trails come in. So whether you plan on being an insurgent or whether you plan on migrating to get away, I mean, look what's going on in Ukraine. How many people became refugees and went to Poland and went into Europe because of the warfare that's going on there? And so the trail system is going to be your easiest way to navigate and to be able to get from point A to point B, because it offers the important things that you need. It offers food, it offers water, and it offers anonymity. Okay, so when we're talking about anonymity, they're not, the Russian military or the Chinese military is not going to come, and they're not going to be looking to get to go into these trails and to come after people. And so that will be a lot of the ways where those that are patriotic Americans that want to stand and fight and say, this is my home and you're not coming here, this is going to be where the stand is. Plus, you also have water. The farther north you move along these trails, they're designed for you to be able to resupply water. There is plenty of wildlife in the forest so that you can, at least get your food, as long as you know how to hunt and you know how to clean your animals and so on and so forth. And, you're probably going to want to be traveling in larger groups, because the meat itself won't be able to last for very long, and it's going to be a hairy situation. But the reason why I'm doing these trails is for that reason, is so that, one, I can give you an idea of, okay, this is what the trails are like. This is what you're going to run across places like in Florida. You got swampland. Swampland has its advantages. Depending upon what's going on and how the conflict goes, you have the ability to use that to your advantage, because it's the terrain that will slow down an invading force. Also, you have, as you move up further, you can scale the Appalachians, you could scale the Rockies, or you could do the Cascades, which is what the Pacific Coast Trail is all about. And you'll have the knowledge of what the terrain is like, because unless you're an avid hiker, which most preppers aren't, you probably won't understand the terrain. And so that's kind of where me telling you about the terrain, telling you about the hard parts, you getting to see the things that I'm going through, will be able to work to your advantage. And that is the value that I think that this channel brings to you, the average prepper. Now, another thing is as I thought, oh yeah, I could hike. Oh yeah, I could do these trails. Oh yeah. No, these trails were meant to be challenging. It is, in some ways, it is its own sport. And sometimes doing road walks may not necessarily be the right the right avenue. And you're going to have to go up the Appalachia trails and go through the Appalachian Mountains just to be able to just to be able to navigate north to south. And then there's going to be trails that go east to west and west to east. Okay, and this will be kind of how you navigate around a lot of the different things that there are. And as you see, I mean, the bike that I rode, I was in shape, but you know, I had my challenges. So when I started hiking, I thought, oh well, I'm already in shape. I mean, my legs are great because I've been riding a bike, but you know, you're using your legs differently in when you hike versus when you bike. And you know, each has its own opportunity. Now, to say that biking is off the table, I think that is wrong. I think that biking has a place, and you guys kind of got to see what it's like in the beginning, what it's like on a bike. Now that I'm doing the trails, now you guys get to see what it's like on a trail, because you know, as in shape as you think you are, these trails are challenging. Nature is challenging. You know, most people only go out and do a couple of day through hike. Very few people actually go out and do the full trail. As a prepper, I would recommend that I would strongly recommend that you go out and you do the full trails, especially 500 miles in each direction in which you plan on going, because you kind of have to have your own strategy. If you're not prepping for the next global conflict that is right on our doorstep, then you're not really prepared and you're not really prepping at all. And again, I think that this is something that I, as a hobo prepper, can bring to you as a form of information to bring value and help you improve your prepping. Okay, so you know, you not only have the global conflict, but if you notice it this year, and I'm expecting that the next years ahead, the weather is going to get even crazier. So if you know, Billy Meyer, you guys know that I follow him. I mean, the stuff that's going on now, he's predicted 60 years ago or longer. Okay, he's been telling us that this stuff is coming if we didn't change our ways for a long time. And now that it's here on our doorstep, to, you know, at least for me, there's no denying it. This is why a lot of people within the Meyer community are preppers, because we've known that this was coming. And so with that being said, you know, you've got the desertification of certain parts of the country. I mean, look at what happened with the wildfires on the West Coast. Remember, it was not last summer, but the summer before, where you know, our crops weren't yielding much. This year, they didn't yield much. We're running out of our seed bank, and I think this year, this planting season, is the last year of our reserves. And if the weather doesn't get any better, we're facing long-term famine. And you know, because of how we've poorly managed our farmland, you know, there are some things that some consequences that we're going to have to pay the price for. And so as a prepper, you're also going to want to travel and migrate from place to place. And again, that's where trails come in, because you can at least, you know, you've got access to streams and lakes, you've got access to flora and fauna that you can eat, you've got access to the wildlife that you can hunt, and that way you can at least survive while you migrate. Now, as more and more people go out and do it, it's going to be a lot tougher. But that just means it's going to be survival of the fittest, survival of the craftiest. The guy that is the most cunning is going to be the guy that does the best. And so for you as a prepper, I think that if you are prepping for SHTF, this is your SHTF. This is the end all be all, what you've been prepping for years, is this scenario that's coming down. Now, you may have thought it was going to come down differently, but at the end of the day, it's still going to be the same end result, which may also end up in a collapse of the U.S. government, which will not be pretty, and you will see anarchy. And again, are you going to want to be in the cities? And you know, there are going to be some advantages, and sometimes you may want to go in the city. So after everybody clears out of the city, then you can go into the city. You want to go in the opposite direction of the rest of the traffic, because they are reactionary and you are prepared. Okay, so this is why I do the videos I do, and this is the value that I hope that I bring to you. I want to show you the tranquility of the trail, but I also want to show you the harshness, because you know, when it comes time for you to get out there and to bug out and to be on the move during SHTF, you are the most prepared. All right, so thank you for watching. If you haven't subscribed,
don't forget to subscribe. If you already are a subscriber, don't forget to hit the bell notification. You can leave me a tip down in the tip jar. You can get some of the gear in my affiliate link. Since I'm taking a 0 day, I may take a 0 day tomorrow as well, because I want to take some time and get my gear links updated so that you guys can see the gear that I'm using. But it's not necessarily about the gear that you have, it's about the person using the gear. So I could show you the best gear in the world, but if you don't know how to use it, it's the worst gear you could ever have. So anyways, guys, thank you for watching, and enjoy the extra trail footage at the end of the video. And I do this with all of my videos, as I will give you a little bit of trail footage just so that you can see the good, the bad, and the ugly. And one more thing, over on Patreon, so the hardest part of the trail, where I just kind of I become a ranting madman, I'm putting that over on Patreon. So if you want to see that video, you're gonna have to at least pay $5 for 1 month of a subscription so that you can go see that video, and you'll get access to all the other videos that are there. And if you decide to keep staying there and you like the videos, then I strongly recommend you becoming a long-term member of the Patreon community for the Hobo Prepper. So thank you for watching, and enjoy the footage.
Wow, look at this. This is really nice. I wish I actually needed water, but I barely touched my water today. But it also has been under 70 degrees today too. But man, look at that. Isn't that beautiful? This is new as far as the way the terrain goes. I kind of like it. It's compact, but there's no confusion. Don't slip on the pine needles though. Isn't it nice when nature gives you natural shelter? Okay, so that's where water collects, but this, let me show you the actual structure. This, as you see, there's a little fire pit there too. So you see large clearings like this. This is like the third one I've seen that's like this, where everything is gone. This is where they used to have power lines. I think what they've done is they put them all underground, because there was one area where you could see all the markings where they were putting it underground. But like large sections just completely clear cut. Now just left open. Just like an open meadow. Okay, so this has probably got to be the hairiest situation I've had with the dog. These guys are about 5 houses down. This dog is really being aggressive. You know, you'd think that, you know, with the neighbors, it being a Saturday, that people would actually be up. I'm calling for help, and all these people just sit in their fucking homes. This is bullshit. Go home! Because watch, as soon as I turn, this is what you got to worry about with dogs. Watch. Okay. So normally, as soon as I turn my back, they try and charge me.
Turn left onto McGriff Street.
Go home! They're following me completely down the street. These guys are like a block almost down the street. I've been dealing with them for about 15 minutes. Go home! They're finally starting to keep their distance.
It's about 1,000 feet to your next turn.
Go home! Alright, I'm back on trail and back on the Pinhoti. I gotta say, taking 2 days off in a row. Oh, look at that. A nice little stream. Taking 2 days in a row is a little rough. Getting back out. And you know, vortexes, man. I heard about them. People keep telling me about them and to be careful. Oh, look at that. More. But, I don't know. This, Heflin was one of those cities where I liked it so much. I was almost willing to, apply for a job at Jack's. Just because I like the city. But, wow. Anyways, stay tuned. It's always nice to look at the mountain range to kind of see how high you are and how many other mountain peaks you can see. It's also kind of nice. It's pretty. Look at that. That's all I climbed getting here from the POC. A lot of that you see there in the background. I'm probably going to end up crossing over that at some point. It's supposed to be, I think, the second highest mountain range. I think that's what they're talking about. But they, yeah. Anyways, but here is a campsite. Seems like every couple of miles now they put one. And check this out. They even have a backpacker's bench. Reason why I call it a backpacker's bench, because look at how deep that is. That means it fits for you and your pack. It's 86 degrees today. It's supposed to rain here in the next hour or two. But that looks really good to go take a swim in, don't it? I'm going to be sleeping next to this tonight at the Lower Shoal Creek Shelter. Didn't even realize how close I was to it. I mean, I walk around the corner and there's the shelter. Looks like there's either some work being done on it or something's been damaged. Huh. Gonna have to look into this. It was suggested that I give you a tour of what some of these shelters look like. So this is the Lower Shoal Creek Shelter. This is the picnic table. Let me show you what kind of view. This is totally worth it. Look at that. This is what you just saw just a couple minutes ago. Okay, so there's a fire pit. Let's see here. National Trail Day Project. 3 new roof steps. Cooking shelf. U.S. Forestry Service Appalachian Trail Club of Alabama. Anniston Outdoor Association. Boys and Girls Club of Montgomery, Alabama. Chisel Unit. So that's what that says up there. Okay, so there is that. Let's see. This looks like all the stuff that people have left behind. I'm gonna check what is this? Ozark Emergency Reflective Tent. Huh. A working lighter. Looks like there's clothes. Ooh, there's a rope. Socks. I'm gonna check these out. They feel like they're wool. These are cotton. Okay. Here's somebody's toothbrush, toothpaste. Somebody really just did not do very well as far as cleaning up their mess. What is this? Ooh, more cord. And a stuffed set. Oh, that is... Huh. I'm gonna have to check some of this stuff out. Maybe I might need some of it. Let's see here. Smart water bottle. Oh, hand warmers. Reflective gear. Okay. Oh, and one more thing. So the cooking shelf that they're talking about over here is this, and I don't know if that's piss or beer, or if that's No, that might be oil. Whatever they left in here, and that looks like it's gone bad. And of course, there's a tarp underneath there. This is why I took a half day right here. This is beautiful. And if you are really desperate for a bath or a shower, you got a little retention pond here. It's probably about 8 inches deep. And the reason why you would want to do it there is because the water is going to keep flowing and will clean itself going through this process right here. Okay. So as you see, there's like a little bit of a makeshift trail here. I think they're suggesting like, here you go, this is what you do. And there's another makeshift trail over to a log that you can use as an actual bathroom. So look at this. Being down here, it's absolutely wonderful, but I've also been struggling to get signal. So I've eaten up a lot of my battery and I got to use my charger. But I want to show you one last thing. So I had asked for help to get this tarp here. And so I kind of want to show you the inside. As you see, I've got probably 12 to 18 inches here. And I've got another maybe 6 inches right here. So, I mean, I could adjust it a little bit more. And then what I did is, because I still have some stuff left over from my tent that was stolen, not the one that I gave to Peggy, but the one before that, the wind straps is what I'm using. And so that way I can kind of create a watershed. So what happens is the water is going to come and it's just going to shed off, and then it's going to go that way into the stream. And since I did the 2 middle ones, that way it will protect me from any rain on either side. And I finally found the sweet spot on the rings. It's a little bit off kilter because it's not centered, but what do you expect for $7.50, I guess? So, and again, I've used the other 2 over here. And when it rains either tonight or in the morning, I will be able to, I will be dry. And if I need to stay in there, I can. And all I got to do is figure out how to put my bag underneath there, because I won't always have a shelter. One benefit of a controlled burn is now I can see the other side of the trail. Hi and welcome everyone. This is the Hobo Prepper and I am Friar Tuck. Alright, I'm walking on a trail and making sure that I keep an eye on things. But today I want to talk about living on a trail. Whether you're prepping for SHTF or whether you just decide, you know what, I'm done with society. I want to go and I don't want to be a part of it anymore. There's a lot more people every year that are coming out and deciding to live on the trail. And it's great until it starts getting crowded, of course. But I don't know, so far it's not crowded. I saw Da Vinci hit the Lower Shoal Creek shelter a couple days ago, and he was supposed to be in town. I was kind of hoping to see him, but apparently I missed him. Anyways, you know, just living on trail means that you're gonna hike a little bit different. You know, I was talking with Prophet because he just got into town to see his family and, you know, meet his sister and all that. He got into town. And hi and welcome everyone. This is the Hobo Prepper and I am Friar Tuck. Okay, I'm watching the trail. I'm just recording this video as I'm walking. I want to talk about living on trail. You know, more and more people every year, whether it be because of inflation, they just they get out there on the trail and they just decide that they really, really like it and they just don't want to go back to what they were doing. Or just people who just they're tired of the world and they've decided, you know what, it's time to go out and to live on trail. You know, for me, what brought me to this decision to be able to live on trail, I mean, I had to lose everything. And the thing is I am completely done with the world in a lot of ways because I don't know how exactly to explain it, but when you put your everything into things and at the end of the day you've got nothing to show for it, you have to ask yourself a question: is it me or is it the system? And maybe 40 years ago you could have said it was me, but the way that the system is going and as malicious as it's getting towards its own people, just because it's the natural state of things, you know, I'm not taking the blame for this one. Well, I could take a partial blame for it because, I mean, I could have gone back and saved my business, but for what? A labor crunch that's still going on. You know, employers are having trouble finding people. There's still plenty of jobs out there because nobody wants to go to work anymore. Billy Meyer predicted this, of course, and I never expected it to turn out the way it is. But, you know, at the end of the day, I look at the world and I go, it's falling apart. You know, it's about time to get back to the basics. It's about time to get back to my roots. Hi and welcome everyone. This is the Hobo Prepper and I am Friar Tuck. I'm looking a little bloated today, aren't I? It's what happens when you go in and you eat. Eventually, you get bloated. But anyways, today we're going to be talking about living on trail. Whether you're doing it for SHTF, whether you're doing it to prep to live, to make it through SHTF, whether you're doing it because you got out on trail, you got the trail bug, you realize, like, you know, 'cause I mean, people lose a lot of weight out here. And if you're looking for really good weight management, hey, a trail, that's the way to do it. Let me stop here because I got to keep switching hands. But, you know, there's just stick. There we go. All right, so let's try this again. This thing is starting to look almost deep enough to swim in. I mean, this is, I would say, knee high to waist high, depending upon where you're at. Wow. Some of the clearest water I've ever seen. Wow. I've been drinking out of this water for a week or more now. So far, this is the prettiest part of the trail. Look at this. And it's very well carved out, too. So I come up on this open field, and look, there's a lake right there. Look at that. I had to take a moment for this. So there's a sign. Pause it if you need to read it. And then here is welcome. Use of this historical property is at your own risk. Okay, there you go. I would stay here, but I've got to make my miles today.
Okay, so I am at the Chacaloco shelter, and actually I really like this one. So this is where I slept last night because I got in at dark. It was like 8:30, but they have toilet paper. I've had to drink the water here, unfortunately, and they've got some other things here, and I thought that these trail shelters actually tend to be something that is, I don't know, it's hiking. Look at that, hike naked. Anyways, the these shelters tend to have their own use, especially when it comes to, you know, if you need supplies and stuff, sometimes they have them in there. But, and as you see down here, I really couldn't have hung my hammock. It's downhill. So